Hi, my name is Dr. Janice, and this is this week's A Dose from Dr. Janice, where I hope to teach, show, and inspire you how to release your God-given health and life potential. I have a wonderful topic for us today. It's something that we all do and we all suffer from. Before I get to that, I just wanted to pause. My mission statement rolls right off my tongue. I think I wrote it about 15 years ago, but it is actually why I'm recording these videos. I really and truly hope to inspire you to release your God-given health potential. Inspire in spirit. There's something inside of us, God within, that wants to come out. And I just don't want you to die with your music still in you, as Wayne Dyer used to say. And there's a lot of people that do. Someone in the local community passed away, at the age of 55 this week, and so many people are hurting over it. And this woman most definitely died with her music still in her. And so my goal is to inspire you to do things and to be a certain way so that, that awesomeness inside of you comes out. Because ultimately we all have a gift. They're all completely and absolutely different. But when we share those gifts, not only with ourselves, but with our family and with others, the world is a better place, and we will all vibrate just a little bit higher. So this week's topic has been rolling around in my head really for the last several weeks and months, and I hope it comes out the way that God wants it to come out. And the one thing that we all do, we do it constantly, thousands of times a day. We even do it in our sleep, and it doesn't help. In fact, it hurts. We do it to other people, we do it to other things, and we do it to our circumstances, and that is judge. We judge other people, places, and things non-stop. Wayne Dyer said that we have 60,000 thoughts a day, and so I would say that a lot of our thoughts would be equal to judgments. And of those 60,000 thoughts that we have a day, 95% of them are the same ones we had yesterday, and 80% of those thoughts are negative. So I would say that a lot of the time our judgments are negative, and they just don't help. At the end of the day, if the judgments helped and they made us better and the people we're judging better and the things that we judge better, then I would say let's do more of it. But judgment doesn't help. A Course in Miracles says that judgment is virtually intolerable. It is exhausting. So what I want to talk about for the next few minutes is how we can catch ourselves in judgment and how we can redirect it. Now, before I get to that, know that judgment is not discernment. Of course we take past experiences and then we bring them into the present so that we can make decisions about the future. Right now I'm sitting in my kitchen. I have a stove. If I turn it on, it gets hot. Based on past experience, I know not to touch a hot stove. That's good discernment. That's wise choices. I wouldn't call that judgment because there's nothing negative whatsoever about saying that when my stove gets hot, then I will burn myself. So I'm not saying that we should just have this incredible neutrality to everything that happens in our life. I'm just really encouraging you to look at when you label things. Now, when we judge other people or things, it's usually when they're bad. And so I've encouraged you before in prior doses to try to catch that. So another example is, in April, we moved here from Hamilton, New Jersey. We had to spend $25,000 to replace our septic system. I could judge that as a bad situation, or I could be neutral about it and say, well, it wasn't bad for the people that dug the hole. It wasn't bad for the electricians that had to do work. It wasn't bad for the new owners. It was just it was something that we had to do, and judging the situation as bad wasn't going to help me whatsoever. So I decided not to do it. Now, of course, it's hard not to judge. We all judge. We judge people. I just took a Spirit Airlines flight this past weekend to fly back for my niece's wedding, and I was on the UN of flights. Every possible nationality, every color of skin was on that flight, and I thought it was the coolest thing. And I was just thinking about how, we are all the same, in that we are all the same, in that God gives us this amazing potential. We all have gifts, and our job is to polish that gift and let it out and shine it out to other people. And judgment doesn't help. So why should we not judge? Well, let me list 3 or 4 reasons why. First of all, we don't want to judge others because, as it's said in many spiritual texts, including the Bible, what you judge in others, you see in yourself. Well, if I'm judging someone as a less than person, a mean person, a negative person, a miserly person, however we judge people, I don't want to be those things. So that's number 1, is that, if there's just a little bit of truth in that, it's sort of like the comment that there's always a little bit of truth in just kidding. When you say something to someone and say, just kidding, there's always a little bit of truth in that. So what you judge in others, some of that you see in yourself, all right? Judgment is like a boomerang, it goes out and comes right back to you. So that's number 1. I don't want to judge others because I don't want to have those characteristics if I label them as bad. The other thing about judgment is it lowers your vibration. What do I mean by that? We are all just vibrating energy. And although you see me and is what you can see and touch, and I can touch this table, we see these physical things, we see these tents that we live in, on a subatomic level, under that electron microscope, all we are is energy, vibrating energy. And it's actually nothing. There's no thing in this energy. It's basically empty space with just an occasional electron or proton or neutron. So at the end of the day, all we are is energy. And that's why Einstein came up with the mathematical equation of E equals mc squared. E is energy, M is matter, they equal each other, and C is the speed of light, if you cared to know. So we are just vibrating energy, and our energy interacts with other people's energy. My energy right now is interacting with people's energy from Japan. My energy right now is interacting with stars that were created millions and billions of years ago. So when we judge others and we take our energy and we judge another thing, we are interchanging our energy with it, and it doesn't lift them up, certainly, right? It lowers them, and therefore we get lowered with them. And so I want to vibrate at a high level. So for another reason for me not to judge another person or another thing is that it lowers my vibration. All right? As you think, so shall you be. In the Bible, it has a great scripture, one of the best ones in Matthew, and it says that, why do you stare at the speck in my eye when you have a beam in yours? And so many times when we judge others, there's things going on in our life that we could be equally judged for. And so that's another reason that I don't want to judge other people, places, and things, but in particular people, because I don't want to be judged. Imagine if you have 6 people sitting there and they're all just spewing this judgment on you. She's got blonde hair, she should have black hair. She's white, she should be brown. She's got blue eyes, she should have green eyes. She weighs, I'm not gonna tell you, she weighs this, she should weigh this. She's a chiropractor, she should be a medical doctor. She only had 2 kids, she should have had 5. She moved away from her kids, she should never have done that. I don't want these things coming back at me. And so for that reason, I don't want to judge other people. So that's plenty of reasons as to why not to judge. And replay this and believe it. And it's not me saying it. It is people much, much wiser than me that I've learned from and that have told me that judgment doesn't make me a better person. So what are a couple things that I do? I have like a minute left. I try to catch myself in judgment. So, if someone cuts me off and is speeding, right? I don't always succeed, but I try to send them a silent prayer that they're rushing somewhere, and I pray that they get where they need to be, and that me flipping them the bird or judging them back or getting nasty with them, it doesn't help me at all. I try not to judge unkind people. You know, I always say, I learned it from Joyce Meyer, who probably learned it from someone else, that hurting people hurt people. Remember that. Hurting people hurt people. So if there's a rude clerk or someone on the phone that's being nasty with you, or a child or a parent or a brother or a coworker that's being nasty, I'm not saying that you have to absorb all that and take it, but I'm saying that choose to be kind rather than right. Recognize that hurting people hurt people and try to see it from their perspective. You know, when I see on the news of some horrific person that's done something horrible to another human being, of course that's horrible. Of course they need to be punished and the laws need to be followed. But I always remember that that person came out at one point as a little human baby, and we failed that human baby. Their family did, their parents did. As a society, we failed that little baby. I look at all the things that I've been able to give my sons, and my husband's been able to get my sons, simply because they were born in the right country, in the right state, with the right set of parents, because I got those blessings from my parents. And so remember that hurting people hurt people. And lastly, just try to catch yourself right in the middle of judgment. So if you catch yourself, let's say there's someone walking by, and whatever you're judging them for, try to catch it, which means you're in the present moment. You're not in the past or the future, because when we judge people, we're thinking about the past, bringing it into the future. Try to be present, catch yourself, and flip it around. You know, if you're judging, let's say, a homeless person, catch yourself, you know, and have empathy and sympathy and compassion for that person. And try to, if you could do something for them, do them, and if not, send them a silent prayer. But judging them and cursing them and thinking these negative thoughts, not only is it bad for them, but the most important thing is that it's bad for you. And that's this week's A Dose from Dr. Janice. If you like it, share it with others. Peace out, and I'll see you next Sunday.